question is, who will be the first one on match point? It's a best of 5.
To the end, only one spot in the grand finals to fill as we jump into the land of dawn. The match score is 1-1.
And we will be witnessing another Selena game from Cine to top off this draft that Vitality has decided to field, which I think came as a bit of surprise for both of us and even the panel, as they've decided to go for this instead of any other source of burst and or even shred.
And I love the fact that they decided, you know what, the best way to deal with it from the side of GCT, we're just going to beat you up in lane.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of pressure on every single one of these lanes if they play it well. I think EXP is probably the biggest sandbag, but mid lane is a decent amount of control.
Yep, as we're seeing right now, where they do try and attempt to at least contest with a little Wanderer, but an Abyssal Arrow landing on Kuejo. The damage from Cine, the Rupture, and Lethal Ignition are starting to pay dividends, at least for now in the early game.
Yeah, they got to make sure they time those concussive blasts. And more importantly, if they happen to, you know, snag him with an arrow, catch him with a fatal link, even a simple stun, really, that's when you can follow it out with the Selena. So I'm looking at not just the Atlas, but I'm also looking at Vival and Fumieko, if they could set things up for City too.
Well, I think Geltek are very careful of those potential setups. I see multiple Purifies being picked up again. You're probably forced to, considering the amount of crowd control, which was also highlighted previously, that could be detrimental for even the Balmond of KOA. And how they are actually going to create an opening for this is something we're yet to see, because it's mostly been skirmishes in the mid lane just for now.
Yep, 10 seconds left on the clock before we do see the very first turtle of this game, and immediately what's blaring alarms is, where's the level 4s? Again, the waves are about to crash, but this is the most important side for important level gap for either side. They want to hit level 4 and immediately start taking first positions.
Yeah, for the Selena, maybe you could argue that even if she doesn't, but at the same time, you do feel that it does slow down a bit when you have a Selena with the amount of wave clear that she can only provide. Chell, though, will get to clear this out before eventually resetting, but the turtle goes over to Vitality and a setup from Fumieko. Cine landing another arrow as well. KOA has to get away, but she could not. Not even the lethal counter could save her. Kuejo being chased even under the turret, and that's a win for Vitality.
Now, despite having some really good winning lanes here, should technically be okay, but a double kill already achieved is not looking great. Vitality taking a 1.1k lead. We now look down towards that top side, and they're immediately taking away the gold. Vivon will try her absolute best to try and stop the bleeding, but now you see it very clearly that, hey, this Alice, it's going to be a really big problem. They have no way to actually stop the engagement. They just have to dodge it.
Because they also have so many ways to start it. Like, anyone from Vitality at this point, I feel, could just be confident enough to go in and catch GCT by surprise, which helps a lot in how the arrows eventually land, because the things get just so messy, similar to what we're seeing right now down bottom, but Tokyo at least will be safe from that.
They're probably going to re-gank it at some point, right? Go for the recall for Vivian and then look to make it happen once again. Try to steal this camp away, but now really punishing KOA.
Seriously, Fumieko all alone. Might just go for the solo kill. A bit of help there from Vival, but majority of the work was done there by Fumieko all alone. Now it's a potential punish that GCT are looking for, and Kuejo will get the job done.
Oh, a little frustrating, of course, but it's still worth taking out the enemy jungler. KOA is currently still level 4 to Vival's level 7. 3-level difference, and stealing away camps in front of their face.
He's been doing this since game 2. Game 2, a lot of resources denied from KOA, and that still holds true for game number 3. Only difference is probably you get a bit more help from Fumieko as well. She's been always in the face of KOA on this Balmond. She's not afraid even if KOA is on this hero.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked as well, but at this point in time, we're just going to have to wait and see, right? Mid-game is when we're expecting GCT to really start picking up the pace, especially since Tokyo has yet to get that first item down. And once that first item is down, it's only ramping upwards. Purify out early.
Yeah, that was even before the first objective. Cine too. The way that she's been landing these arrows have, I think, influenced so much of how this is not the usual aggressive Lilia early game that you're seeing from GCT. Ooh, little counter dodge right there. Cine, another arrow connecting onto KOA. The guiding wind might help, but Vivian will actually go for the setup. Will the follow-up be enough, though? It's going to be KOA targeted first, and they will actually find the kill. From behind, Vival goes into, and that's enough to complete this wipe
That was so clean. That was like so unironically clean. Initially, it was just, okay, we got this big clip coming in from Vivian, but really was there enough space and time for the rest of the team to actually collapse? And they said, you know what? Yes, we'll just do it underneath the turret. Doesn't matter. Vivian's got all the big battle spells out, and because they have no Purify, there is no escape.
Everything, all the skills that they threw, the sequence was just too perfect for Vitality in that gang. You mentioned it, they might go for another try, and that was the perfect time to do it up against Tokyo, who is clearly struggling in the gold lane matchup right now. Another arrow, the burst! The burst is just a bit too much. Quejo steps on another trap as well. Now we're starting to feel the lack of sustained heroes in the hands of GCT.
Yeah, but they need the Flask of Oasis. Another arrow connects into a Fatal Links, but still manages to pull out with the help of a buffered Guiding Winds. These are the little mechanics here, right? You're just buffering abilities upon abilities, praying that the Chain CC has a broken link.
No, they see Vival. Vival trying to go after Sonjke. That's a lot of members of GCT you spot out there, but she's still not afraid to just make her presence felt.
And they can't even sit deep in enemy territory, or at least move up into no man's land to pick up the minions. At this point, it's pretty impossible for Kyoe to try to go for a steal. She needs to close that level gap to make sure that her retribution is bigger. I'm going to assume probably close to level 10 would be most ideal.
Oh, Tokyo! Purify already used! Still gonna be okay. Sonjke and Kyoe too show up from the sides, but the damage on Kyoe is no joke. Fumi Echo gets to get away from that turret, but there goes the Circling Eagle. They might not want to commit this though.
Nah, this is a no contest. An easy no contest for Vitality. Going to deny the purple buff as well, and they're probably going to cut off the mid-tier 2 here just to make sure they secure mid-tier 1.
Just how many resources have been stolen away from GCT at this point? Vival's movements across the map have been a bit too unpredictable for GCT, or maybe they just couldn't also keep up because of the pressure that she's been doing. Look at her up against Kyoe. Even using... Oh, that wasn't the retribution. Oh!
Yep.
Was able to iframe her way out of the lethal counter!
This is super silly. It is clear. It is clear. They don't remember every single one of Hirara's abilities. She has 4 to work with here. Gotta make sure that you remember all of them. There is a snare, there is an iframe, and most importantly, she has multiple dashes. Vitality taking full control.
They've pretty much shown us how the matchup goes. Hirara being able to play around this matchup against the Balmond, but it's also just not the Hirara making all of this possible. It's everyone being able to just accomplish their laning phases successfully and not allowing GCT to do the rotations they want.
And Vitality, at this point, they've got squatters' rights. They're basically camping in their home, sitting in their jungle, waiting for somebody to come, and just to be an absolute nuisance, they're not going to leave.
Looking at the items right now, you could, I think, see how significantly behind the EXP laner and gold laner is. It's the sides that are feeling majority of the pressure, but there could be no comparison to the jungle. I think that's almost 4K that they have to deal with, but Vivian and Fumi Echo once again are gonna go in. They're waiting for the perfect moment, and there you go, Vivian! Without the Purify, sets up for Sonjke, but she still has the black shoes, but it's space that they want. It's space that they create to steal away more and more objectives from GCT.
6 seconds left. Oh, wait, the arrow actually hits, but they know punish just yet. Kyoe able to get out just in time. I don't know. This is starting to look a little risky here. A lot of the big resources have been thrown out from the side of Vitality. They're trying to back this off. The only person who can hold on is Fumi, and now they punish with Vival.
Fumi Echo on a purple buff, by the way.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, Yubon jumping in, falling star move, but Chell also dealing a decent amount of damage. Vivian too, another perfect pair. Could she go for another setup? She doesn't have the flicker, and GCT are just gonna scramble away.
This scramble is actually not really great for GCT, right? But at the same time, they kind of don't have the choice. They want to keep Vitality in check, and the only way to keep them in check is to be right up in their faces.
Another falling star moon, Yubon and Quejo trying to work hand in hand just to be able to get in, but Vitality let go of the lore just as they do so. They have other things to accomplish before they commit to that.
Yep, they're going back to the fundamentals, reset up those waves. Look at that top and bottom side, both in neutral territory, and GCT are the first ones on it. However, with top lane pushing in, Vitality, are they going to get away with this?
They're letting it go. They don't mind that top wave pushing in. They just really want to secure this objective for themselves. GCT will settle with at least a tier 2 up top, but maybe not even, because another Abyssal Arrow from Cine will connect. That's going to be Liu on the way. Very tanky XP lane, but this time it's not just Cine. Vival shows up. Vivian's here too. Cine tries to run away. That goes the Fatal Links just to make sure they get out alive and pick up a kill even before the Lord.
Oh, it's so good. And Fumi, she doesn't mind. Look at her. The unkillable EXP later on this Alice. Absolute monster. Underneath the tower as well. Vival getting really disrespectful from all sides. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat the fastest game just yet, but I feel like Vitality are ramping it up to make sure that it's somewhat close.
If so, they'll have records of longest games and shortest games, both in their hands alone. But Vitality, that seems to be the case. They're keeping things fast. Vivian going in once again. There haven't been Purifies forced out just yet. Oh, there you go. Just as I mentioned it, 2 are already down.
Yep, big, important spells here. And we know what's going to happen.
You know, yeah.
How much you want to bet? It's either the Throne Ruin or the Fatal Links. Which do you think is going to hit more targets?
Okay, maybe I might just go for Fumieko right here, but they will focus on the turrets for now. They want to create space. They want to go for the base turrets, and that's exactly what they need to keep the pressure going for GCT.
Just letting it happen. No wait, the arrow. It hits on the correct target. They move backwards, and yet still they maintain this pressure. I love the fact that Vitality plays textbook because they know they can guarantee the win if they just take their time.
Yeah, they're not doing much of the risky plays. Everything seems very calculated from them. Even the moments where Vival does things like this or dives. Fumieko already showing up in the back lines, but there goes Vivian with a 2-man setup, and Vival is already godlike. It's a double kill, which she actually picks up, moving on to a triple and a maniac. Can she make it a savage? Yuba's the only target left, but they're gonna respect. They're gonna play it by the book. Flying clouds to where? She wants to clear the wave, but she cannot. It's a savage for Vival as Vitality take match point.
Insane again.